My name's Kendall Harris. I'm the mayor here in Bountiful, and today we're talking to Charles Benson, our Streets Department Director, about our streets in Bountiful City. So tell us a little bit about our streets.
Okay, so Bountiful City has about 162 miles of centerline road. That's just going one way down the road. In order to care for that large investment that we have in there, we inspect each road every year and determine whether it needs to go on to one of the three maintenance plans that we have. So we have road preservation, road rehabilitation, and road reconstruction. So let's go into the preservation type. We plan on doing about 14 miles of preservation. So we do that with, right now, with a slurry seal. We have two types, a type 2, which is a fine sand mixture with oils and binders that seals the road, keeps the moisture out. That's kind of the number one enemy of a road. That'll make it soft and do potholes and start alligatoring when that moisture gets down into the road and into the base of the material. So keeping that out is one of our number one priorities. So that goes on about a 1/4 inch thick, less than a 1/4 inch thick, and it lasts around 7 to 10 years. And it goes in and seals the cracks in there and gives us a good road surface for quite a while. These are roads that are in pretty good shape, or roads that I have just paved within 3 years. I like to get that seal on them as fairly soon.
Okay.
And then we also do a type 3 slurry, which is generally for our higher traffic roads and our steeper roads. It'll give us a little better traction in the wintertime.
Oh, good.
And that lasts about the same, and it goes on about 3/8 of an inch thick.
Okay.
So we're not adding a whole lot to the road surface at that point.
Mm-hmm.
So the next one is our road rehabilitation. That's when we decided that road needs more work on it. So we have our road mill now. It's a 4-foot mill that we can go along and mill off that road and plane it off. So if it's a little uneven, a little bumpy, we can smooth that all out before we pave it again. A lot of times on some of our older roads, they were built to a different specification, have a higher crown than what we do now. We can't take it all out with this way without reconstructing the road, but we can take some of it out. So once we've milled the road off, we've got the profile where we want it, we generally bring our paving crews in and we take and put around, usually it's about 1.5 inches to 2 inches, depending on which road we're working on and what the profile calls for. So we're using our trucks that we use for snow plowing. We disassemble them and put them into a configuration that will haul asphalt for us.
Oh, that's great.
So we're able to use these trucks year round, and the crews, keep them all busy. We also raise our manholes and valves as we go. We don't come back and jackhammer them out and put asphalt around them. We have a grade ring that we put into the asphalt as we're going. So once we're done with that road, it's done. It's ready to be opened up for everyone. So that's a good benefit.
That's
to keep
great.
that going.
Yeah.
Eventually that road, it's done its time and it needs to be reconstructed to the different grades that we have now. Back in the 20s and through the 50s, they wanted a high crown on the road, and nowadays we don't have that high crown. We like it down lower, and so we're slowly going through the town and reconstructing that way. It is considerably more expensive to reconstruct a road. We're looking 1/2 mile costs about $500,000, $500,000 to do that.
So that's why you make every attempt to try to preserve the roads.
Preserve the roads as long as we can to keep them in the best shape that we can. And after we determine a road needs to be reconstructed, we check with all the utilities that are under the road, which there are a lot of utilities under the road, and see which ones will upgrade there so we don't have to dig that road up again, and we'll get the best life that we can out of that road. So then we come to our utility cuts that are in the road that, there's a problem with the water line and it needs to be repaired and replaced. Though every road has that, and it's just a fact of life.
Yeah.
So what we do require is that when each one of those cuts are in there, that we square them up. We don't want to have a irregular patch. We want it to look nice. And it must be 1 foot wider than the hole that they dug on each side, so we can get proper compaction around there. So hopefully it won't sink. We do have some that don't get the best compaction, and we have to go back and repatch. We rebuild that individual utility for that again.
Hmm.
Utility cuts happen year round, and in the wintertime we can't get asphalt. The plants shut down, so we have some cold mix that we can try to keep that going through the winter. As soon as the plants open again, we'll take that back out and put in a hot mixed asphalt.
Okay, so there's a temporary solution until you get back to the spring.
Yes.
It seems like we have a better situation in Bountiful with preserving the roads in the first place helped prevent things like potholes.
It does.
But occasionally we will get potholes.
That's a kind of a nature of our weather that we have here. The freeze-thaw cycle will get down in there and we'll get potholed. We try to go around and check the areas. Just call us to the street department and we'll get it on the list and get it taken care of.
We're unique in Bountiful. We have our own crew that does roads.
Yes, we do. We're one of the few cities that still do their own overlaying, and it's a huge cost savings benefit for the residents of town. We're doing it basically at cost. Our dump truck fleet is basically for snow plowing, is how it was designed, and this is just an added benefit that we have, that we can use that equipment and those crews, keep those crews busy all year long. We did buy a paving machine, the road mill and the roller. That's kind of the unique equipment that's needed for paving, but it has paid real big dividends to the residents of the city for us doing our own.
I like how you said roads are an investment, and so we do need to take care of them. And there are a few things residents can do to help with that.
So our biggest enemy of our roads is water infiltration. So those sprinklers are washing out the oils and the binders, and having the road is actually weakening the road and taking life out of the road. If we can keep the water off of the road, we know it's going to rain, we know it's going to do that, but the constant every other day or more watering, that's what really kills the road. And you can see we'll get alligatoring all along that edge, and that's contributing to the potholes. And so if we can get a little help on that, that would make our roads even last longer.
So, and then leaking cars, that could be another culprit of problems.
Oils that leak out of the cars, or spilling gasoline on the road or something like that, it actually eats the asphalt up and breaks it down. The binders will just disintegrate, and then that road will let the water in, and then we'll have a large pothole in that area just over time.
Okay, well, that's good to know. Well, our streets are an important investment, like you said, to our city, and we really appreciate the way that you and your crews take care of them for us, so that we can drive around throughout town with ease. And so thank you so much for what you and your team does here.
Okay, well, thank you very much, Mayor.